Alright, how to use a whip finish. This thing is your best friend, especially when you're starting out. Make sure you get your thread tied off. I actually just magically lost mine. It's probably buried in my pile of materials, but I just bought a new one, Dr. Slick. When I started fly tying, we didn't have YouTube, and it took me quite a while. I bought a kit, and it took me a good month to figure out what in the heck this thing was for and how to use it. It was pretty confusing, um, but it is necessary and super valuable. It's a simple tool that everybody needs. So we'll start the thread here and show you how this thing works. And it's also important, you can't just rely on the tool. There are plenty of times where you need to learn how to do a half hitch. Sometimes you just want to tie off, maybe you want to put some glue on, or you want to stop for a break or whatever. Just throwing in a half hitch like this secures your thread and you're good. Um, yeah, that's something everybody needs to know. So for the whip finish tool, you see how this thing is free spinning. All you're going to do is you're going to hook this little hook right here, if you can see that, and then you're just going to bring your thread underneath the next bend, and it's naturally going to make a triangle like that. You're going to put that right up against the hook, and all you gotta do is wrap it. When you're done, that's it. So if you can see that, hook that around. You're gonna make this triangle right here. That's the key. If you have this triangle, you're good to go, and that means that you're wrapping. And typically you're going to be putting this at the head of the fly. This is going to be the last thing you do when you tie a fly. You're going to whip finish, and then you're going to put some glue or resin on the head, and you're good to go. But there are instances on complex patterns that have a lot of materials, where you want to lock your thread down mid pattern, mid hook, and you can do it real quick, just like that. And again, it's pretty much the same thing. If you're gonna do a half hitch, what you do is you take your two fingers, put it right up against the thread, and you're just gonna make that same triangle, and then you're wrapping it over itself. It's a little awkward at first doing the half hitch and also using this tool, but just sit down with a bare hook like this. You can always just take a razor blade and cut this thread off later. Nice. Should probably put it in a vise all the way. And just practice. Just go at it a few times on a bare hook. You don't want to learn this after you've tied a fly and you're at that last finishing step, and then you have something like that happen where you're torquing on it too much, or you just don't have a feel for it, and then your whole fly unravels. So take some time, take a bare hook, nice big hook, strong thread, and then practice for a bit. As your thread becomes thinner and thinner when you're working with more delicate flies, you have to really get a feel for the pressure. You can break the thread easily if you're really cranking on it. So if you have a real fine thread, you want to be nice and soft. But with this thick thread, I can really crank on that and lock down the thread before I finish up. And that's it. Super simple. Just takes a 10, 15 minutes of practice and you'll have it down.